Hey, Tim.
Hey, Greg.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, it's going all right. You know, hanging out.
Nice.
Living the dream.
Aren't we all?
I know, right? So what's going on with you? Anything good?
Well, I mean, baseball season has started.
Okay.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've got our little fantasy baseball league that we're both in, which is fun. You've done it a lot. Me,
I'm a nerd.
First time doing it, so I'll be terrible.
Yeah, I love fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. But
Yeah.
we're doing a free league, and why not? Right?
Yeah. And I've done the football leagues for years, but this is the first time I'm doing baseball, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We'll do a recap at the end of the season to see how we fared.
And any wagers? Who's gonna who's gonna do better?
Can I bet against myself?
No.
Right.
How about like, we don't have to bet like I'll be better than you, but what about like you'll be above or below 500?
Oh, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely bet I'll be below 500. No, I don't know. I mean, it's funny because I'm just so new to the whole process of how it's scored, and
It's different.
I mean, there's so many variables that I might surprise myself.
It does make baseball much more exciting, though.
Yeah. Even with football, I noticed I was paying more attention to players that I normally would have zero interest in, but yeah. So.
And being a Mets fan, and we're a week in, my season's already over, so I need something to look at, right?
Yeah. Well, the Phillies aren't doing much better.
Good times.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What did you think of Dungeons and Dragons the movie? Any thoughts?
I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was entertaining. It was fun, very lighthearted. Which again, our kids are older now, but just thinking as a parent, pretty much anything in there, most kids would be fine with. It wasn't too scary. There was only one.
A little scary.
Yeah, there was one jump scare moment that I remember that definitely. I mean, every kid would have freaked out probably that was younger, but yeah, I liked it. How about you?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. It wasn't this, I thought it was going to be like an epic world building movie, that it's obvious they're going to make 17 sequels and multiverses, but it was just a good movie that was based in Dungeons and Dragons, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah.
And, Chris Pine's, I never remember if it's with an S or not, but Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, and, it was cool to see some actors that and then there was a bunch of new actors in it that maybe they've been in one or two other movies, but not big stars. Yeah. And
Simon was funny.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah. And having Hugh Grant in it also, what are you can't go wrong with a little Hugh Grant. Right?
No, he was so smarmy. He just it was like, as soon as he's on the on the screen, you're like, oh, he's definitely going to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But we can't give away too much.
Yeah.
We don't give away any spoilers or anything, but
if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool. So hope they make more. So, I was just kind of like watching my feed on Instagram because I'm joining the rest of the world with that, and I kind of see, given the podcast and other things, I'm checking out a lot of like 80s stuff, and like I'm seeing these things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do you remember that? And, so I got a couple here. I don't know, if we want to banter back and forth, see if you think
let's do it.
So this one I thought I'm gonna play the reason I mentioned this is because I got the theme song all geared up and see if you were a fan of this one. Let's hope it's not too loud. You know it?
I think so. I'll let it play just a little longer, but there it is, Silver Spoon.
And like looking at the the beginning of it, I'm like, I know every scene.
Yeah.
Like he's on the train.
He's on the train. Yeah.
I'm like, what? How does my mind pull something like this up from? I haven't seen this show since I was like, I don't know, 20 or 15.
I'd have to think some of it is that as a kid watching it, you're like, oh my gosh, that kid is living the perfect life.
Yes.
I want everything that he has.
I want Erin Gray as a stepmother.
Yeah. It's just such a fun show at our age, with all the cool little elements of a kid who can have anything.
Yeah. And the whole living room set up, the train coming through, and I think he had like arcade games lining them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Mm-hmm. I remember there was a summer too where I think it was was one of the overly sugared cereals, maybe Diggum Smacks or something like that. Or no, it was Captain Crunch. It was definitely Captain Crunch.
Yeah. Old reliable.
And there was the chance of winning a full-size arcade cabinet game.
Oh man!
And so we just, I think I mentioned this once before, but we tried to eat as much as possible in the hope that we would get the box that got the free arcade game, which we didn't. But yeah.
Were you like jittery and shaking from so much sugar?
Honestly, it was my neighbor. Like we'd just go over there and we'd eat like a couple bowls and then tell his mom out of Captain Crunch again.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, but the idea that a kid could have them in their house like that was very, very lucky little kid.
It kind of reminded me of that movie Toy. With Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And like me again as a little kid, you're like, oh my gosh, this kid had everything. And you're like,
yeah,
the excess of the 80s.
But simple in terms of today, like the things that back then were like, oh my gosh, if only. And now you look at it, you're like, it's possible.
Yeah, that does seem like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially in the world we live in, where there's TV shows where someone, you get that look inside of the world of other people, where they'll buy some extravagant home somewhere and put in ridiculous things for no reason, only because they can.
Yep. Yeah.
This is actually local to us. There's an ice cream store, the Inside Scoop. I don't know if
sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And apparently the owners of that ice cream parlor had a house with like a basement that was like Bourbon Street.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So it was like wild. All these, fake facades of, buildings, and they'd have these wild parties. But yeah, so there is a lot of money out there and people do some pretty wild things with it. So.
I do like on Facebook, man caves, and you get to see what some people do. Like there was one actually that some guy put in a Blockbuster video. He recreated one in his basement. Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, we're going off on a tangent, but I'm going to keep going. Have you seen, back during like the fallout shelter days when there was, threat of nuclear war and all that kind of stuff, they would build these, or you could buy bunkers in your backyard.
Drop them right in, right?
Yeah. But then there were the super wealthy that went over the top and would build these underground like houses.
Oh, really?
And there's one, it's out in the West somewhere, that was recently up for sale, and it looks like just a standard ranch home on the surface. And then you went down and they had like a fake lawn, a fake sky. There was a little like golf putting area down there. It felt like you were in your backyard, except it was underground. Yeah. And then they had the whole living space as well, that it was like a full-size multi-story home underground. It was really wild. I'll try to find the link to it and put it up on our website. But it's pretty amazing what is hiding underneath the ground in some places. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So, the silver spoons element, it's just, if you have the money, you can put a train in your house or build an underground. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will throw out a hey, do you remember?
Okay.
This was something that we had a couple of these. It was the mini Tyco slot car tracks. Do you remember those?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I never had one, but I definitely gone to the, where you don't have your own, but you just rent one. They were stock cars, or what are they called?
Slot cars.
Slot cars are so much fun. Yeah. Can I see?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, and I broke it.
Well, it's interesting because I think we had 2 or 3 of them, and they were made by Tyco. The tracks were decidedly smaller than the ones you could go and rent a car at like a hobby store or something like that. But the tires on these are like foam, and it's like almost sharp. The foam is dried out so much. But this was a couple years ago. I had gotten it out and I cleaned all the contacts and everything. It still worked.
Did it really? Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we had one that was a racetrack, and then we had one that was like it was like a depot for trucks. And you'd have the little trailers, and you'd put little oil tanks or little, barrels of oil in it, and then you'd back it up, and they'd dump out into a little plastic, retaining area, and you'd drive around and pick up some more. So it was like you had a little job.
Did you have a favorite one? And did one go faster than others? Like, did they actually was there a difference?
Yeah, I mean, some of them were more like race cars. Other ones were more utility. So the trucks were decidedly slower. But the one that I am holding, that I'll put a photo up on our latchkeydads.com, is a Corvette, which was definitely one of the favorites between my brother and myself and some of our friends. Because it was so fast, it would actually spin out if you went into the turns too hot.
Oh, yeah. Just fly right off. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had. Did you have a lot of RC stuff?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. I'm going to play another song. I'm big into playing stuff today. Let's see if you remember this one, which I'm sure you do.
The animal. The animal. It's a big, powerful 4x4.
Gotta wait for the song.
When the going gets tough, it bares its claws to climb over anything that gets in its
The little
way.
claw comes out from the wheel, and it like does nothing except in like very certain circumstances. But yeah, I remember that.
Clawing its way to the top.
I didn't have it though. I had other ones, but I never got the animal.
I did not have it either, but I do remember the commercials with the little like flap claws that would come out. Yeah.
So that was kind of funny.
No,
Speaking
it is definitely. Yeah, we just had more of the traditional, either like race car style or I had one of the monster truck ones that was called the lunchbox, and it was like a little van, but it had the oversized, tires like the big, the original Bigfoot back in the day at like Monster Jam kind of thing.
Gravedigger.
Yeah. So it was the lunchbox. It was pretty neat.
Very cool.
And it still works. A couple years ago, I got a new battery for it, and
you need to get a little museum,
I know,
right? The Tim Museum of my childhood.
That's right.
You could fill out like a warehouse and do like a tour.
Sure. Take, for a nickel, you can walk around.
Only if you can play with the stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's the do not touch section.
Exactly.
And then
the G.I. Joes, because they'll just shatter the minute you touch them. So I'm going to dig back into the box of weird stuff from my childhood. And let's see. If you remember Shrinky Dinks.
Oh my gosh.
So
of course, Garfield.
I actually have some that were never never made.
Oh my gosh.
So
that is so cool.
Yeah. So the Shrinky Dinks, for those that don't remember, it was a piece of plastic that you would take a colored pencil and color in the shape, just like a coloring book.
Yeah.
And then you would have your parent put them in the oven and bake them. And if you're curious to know,
what were the
instructions were to, again, color it, and then you had to cut it out if you wanted the shape to be, there were multiple on a sheet. And then you would set your stove to 325 degrees.
So rather low.
Little bit of heat there. Put it on a cookie sheet, and then bake it.
How long?
This is important. 4 magic minutes.
4 magic minutes. Nice.
Yeah. And then you had to kind of flatten it out a little bit, and that would try to keep it from curling. I do remember they would curl. And they would, they would obviously shrink quite a bit from the size that they are.
So. Hence the name, right?
Yeah. So
now, what do you got here? We have Garfield set. We have Garfield giving a big old smile. We got Garfield on roller skates, of course.
And there's Garfield holding some flowers. Garfield kind of looking like he just farted. And then 2 where he's just, sort of excited. Maybe Odie fell off of something. He looks very excited. So anyway.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
How come you didn't do it?
I have a feeling, since these are Garfield, that they were actually my brothers.
Oh, that's right.
He, for whatever reason, maybe he had gotten a little bit older and didn't care to do them, or they ended up in a box somewhere and forgotten about. And I unearthed them this past week when I was digging through some stuff.
Yeah, I made the mistake. You weren't the Garfield guy. Your brother was the Garfield guy.
Yeah, my brother was more into the Garfield stuff. So.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff like that, though, when we were kids. Right, like activity things, right? There weren't Game Boys, there weren't, any sort of whatever. And then it's just so funny because I was just looking at this. I had you had this memory, and I was like, I got to go see if these things exist, and they do. So I sent you a picture or a video link, Tim. If you want to put it up on the screen, you can look at it. Do you remember Presto Magics?
It sounds very familiar.
I remember we would get these every once in a while at CVS of all places, like above the coloring books.
Okay.
And what it is it's a trifold, and it was in a plastic bag, and inside was a sheet, like a white tracing sheet, and there'd be all these cool images. And you open up the tri-panel, and inside was a scene. And so you would take what the picture you wanted and put it on the scene, and then take a pencil or pen and scrape over it, and it would lay it out on the scene. So you would create your own scene of whatever it was. And there was a lot of Star Wars. Presto Magic had the copyright to Star Wars. I had a Hoth one and like another one. And see, watch, he lifts it up, and it leaves it behind.
No, yeah, I definitely remember.
Yeah,
doing those.
And I was like, oh, I remember doing that as kids. As you know, it's just so much fun to create your own scene.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, there'd always be one of them, which, as you peel it off, it would break. And so there'd be, like, Luke Skywalker without a head. So then you'd, like, take the stormtrooper, and he's shooting, and, like, blew his head off. Right?
Yeah. Similar to the old tattoos, where, if you didn't wet it just properly, you're peeling it off, and then...
Smeared.
Yeah, smeared or no head or whatever, so...
And these are selling on eBay for like $20-$30. I think I'm actually going to treat myself and get one.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. That's pretty cool.
Nice. Ricky did a nice job on his here.
He really did. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. So those are Presto Magics. See if anybody out there remembers that from your childhood.
Well, following with the theme of the Shrinky Dinks, I have another. It's very loud and it doesn't want to come out of the box.
Oh man, we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah, so it's like all activities for kids on a rainy day, I guess. So this again was never completed. It's still in the original packaging. It is a Easy Form stained glass look baking crystal form kit.
Say that 3 times fast.
Exactly. So this one, it is a artist's palette with 3 packets of the plastic crystals that you would then put into the stained glass shape, and then you would bake it just like the Shrinky Dinks. So I want to read you some of the instructions on this one.
Okay.
So you would place the form on aluminum, covering a pan.
Oh, okay.
Then you would place the crystals into the form,
right?
Sometimes using tweezers for small areas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very important that you have tweezers, which I do remember using
you do?
tweezers.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did a lot of these. We had them. Like,
I've done
all
one
over.
or two in my life. Yeah. And because they would spill, right? Because they're these little tiny beads,
Or if you like nudged the pan as you were carrying it over, they would just it would pop up a little bit, and they would all mix, and you'd be like, no, you have to do it all again. So this one, it was $3.75, a little hotter in there. For 20 to 30 minutes, or until the desired special effect is achieved. Whatever that means.
Okay.
And then I thought this was interesting. It also says, you will notice a chemical odor during the heating process.
Do not inhale.
Which is not harmful. If you're in a well-ventilated room.
Oh, okay.
Plastic is flammable. Do not place near flame or broiler.
Oh, okay.
It is as safe as baking cookies.
I don't think cookies can like burst into flames, Tim.
I know, right? Yeah, so
that is awesome.
Yeah.
How much was it? Is the price tag still on that bad boy?
That's a good question. I see that there is a sticker, but it's either like peeled off over time or something. But there's no price. I'm gonna assume it was about maybe 85 cents. Okay. That's my guess.
Now, I have a follow-up question on your Easy Form 8-word long thing. You have 3 packets of crystals,
yes.
White, red, and blue, but you have a artist's palette.
I know.
So what colors were you going to make if there's 8 spots for the colors?
I think you could have probably pulled off blue, red, maybe purple,
yes.
pink, and light blue.
Yeah, okay.
But it would have ended up being a very patriotic artist palette, rather. Yeah, but I do remember we did so many of these that we would have like some leftover. We would sometimes mix in colors from one of the other ones that we had saved. So,
another follow-up question. I'm very intrigued by your Easy Form over there. Where is it made? Was it made in America?
Is it made? That's an excellent question.
Made in the USA?
Now the bottom of it was sort of damaged a little bit.
Okay. We might never know.
It says it's made by Aaron Supply Company, Rhode Island.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So U.S. product,
US
made in
product.
America. Nice.
America.
Yeah. There it is.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
Nice. So, moving on from the awesome form, I was also, thinking, do you remember pencil fights?
Pencil fights.
Yeah, we would take pencils, you remove the eraser,
Mm-hmm.
and you would take the metal end and bend it so it was like a little tiny axe.
Right.
And then you would battle somebody who would pick a pencil to do this. And one person would hold their pencil long ways. Like
Okay.
you hold one each.
Right.
The other person holds it up like almost like a sling, like a trebuchet. Like
okay.
you're getting some kind of action off it, like picking it up and you're slamming it down and using that axe from the metal to chop away a little bit at that pencil. And then the other person would take a whack. And you would go back and forth until you finally like chopped your way through the pencil. Did you not do that?
That must have been a Jersey thing. I do not remember doing that. Or maybe I was too interested in like creating stained glass art for the wall, for the windows.
For the windows, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Yeah.
don't know. And then like if you won, you'd like, this is my pencil. And then you like use it for like 2 or 3 matches until it, it broke.
It's like drag racing.
Yeah.
They got the pink slip to the other guy's car.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember there was a point in elementary school where everyone would get like these elaborate erasers.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Hot Wheels that made them, and it would look
Okay.
like a little Hot Wheels car. And we would take the smooth style tacks,
Yeah.
yeah. And we would put 4 of them on the 4 tires, so then they would slide.
Oh, that's a
And we would
never
like
did that.
race them
Okay.
on our desks, at
Oh,
school.
that's pretty cool.
And we would never use them as an eraser because we didn't want to ruin
Because it was like
Matchbox,
colored and stuff. Yeah.
And there was all kinds of other wacky ones that we had.
Yeah.
That, again, they were oversized, just pencil erasers. but,
Yeah.
yeah. Had I known, it could have been a weapon, though. I don't know. That's pretty awesome.
So what else you got in that box
All
over
right,
there?
Let's dig back into the box. See what we got. Okay, so do you remember the mini troll dolls?
Yeah.
Sort of along that whole pencil thing. They made versions of these that you can
Yep.
put on the end of a pencil.
Yeah.
And then they also made keychain versions, which
You have right there.
this I believe was one of the first keychains when I first learned to drive. I think I
Oh,
had
okay.
about 87 keychains attached. One was a little troll doll with the crazy hair that when you put on a pencil, you could like make a point and then you could spin it
Yeah.
and it would kind of
Flip. Yeah.
spread out.
They were big, the trolls with the funny eyes,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I have
What else you got there?
it's a little flashlight. Little
Oh,
pen
and that's like a
flashlight.
mag light. That's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
little mini, yeah.
This is a turbo one. I think one of my family members got it for me when I turned 16.
That's
And then
cool.
lastly, I was a big fan of animals, apparently. So this was a tiger, looks like a belt buckle,
I was just going to say that. It looked
from the World Wildlife Fund.
oh, nice.
And that, it looks like it was 1989 was when this particular keychain was made.
Late 80s, the nature was making a comeback, right? Earth
Sure.
Day,
Mhm.
everything. Sure.
Yeah. But the troll doll was the
Is-
main thing there.
Pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. The orange hair.
Yeah.
They're cute. They got the butts, right? That was what we
Yeah.
laughed at. Like, it's
Yeah.
got a little butt right there.
Little butt.
Yeah. But that is cool. My last do you remember is and this one's gonna shock some kids. You used to be able to not have information at your fingertips, and you would my friend had an encyclopedia set.
Yes.
I did not have one.
Oh, okay.
So I would go across the street and use his for my reports.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody doesn't know what an encyclopedia set is, if there's anybody under the age of maybe 20,
Yeah, probably.
it's just like an A to Z book set
Mm-hmm.
that you would get in the mail.
Sure.
Book A, et cetera, and it would be filled with facts about aardvarks and and down the line. But that's what we used to write our book reports.
Yeah, yeah. We had, I think it was a ShopRite that we used to go to when I was a kid.
Okay.
And they had a program where you could purchase one volume over the course. I don't know if it was every couple weeks or
Okay.
how they like rolled it out over the course of, period of time. And I remember we'd go shopping and we'd come home with one additional volume. And we used my brother and I feel like my older of my 2 younger sisters definitely used it. I don't remember if my youngest sister would have used it very much or if, by
Okay.
that point there was enough available. No, I'm pretty sure she used it too.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. But I think it was the Funkin' Wagnalls Most people had Britannica.
Yeah,
But we had
yeah.
the Funkin' Wagnalls, I think was the name of it. And every report we did.
Yeah, it came
that's
right
where it came from.
Right. Your bibliography was one book.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think there was an episode of Friends where Joey ended up getting one volume of an encyclopedia, and then because he felt like he wasn't smart enough in conversations.
Okay.
And so he read that one volume, but then everything he talked about had to do with that one particular letter, which I don't remember what it was, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah. So along those same lines,
Yeah.
I guess our items that we didn't discuss ahead of time somehow are all tied together. So I found this was it was called the Weekly Reader. Do you remember this?
Does not look familiar, no.
Okay, I think this was in elementary school. Yeah, so this particular volume was from 1985.
Oh, good. That's old.
So I would have been about 9 years old. So yeah, definitely elementary school. And this particular one, the cover story was Cable TV Companies Fight Satellite Dishes.
Oh.
So this is when satellite TV was sort of first making some inroads.
Yeah, with the big giant ones.
Yeah, these were the huge ones that would be like the size of your house. So that was kind of interesting. And then there's a series of other articles, one of which I thought was really funny because we've talked about clowns before.
Yeah.
This one was called "I'm a Clown, a Dream Come True."
Wow.
Which is all about a woman who went to clown school and joined the circus. So there's all kinds of funny stuff in here. There was a Happy Birthday Charlie Brown comic strip in there. There's a little article about chimpanzee, which every kid loves learning about chimpanzees.
Any which way but loose.
Exactly. And then the center spread is "How are you in an emergency?" And it was all these, what to do in an emergency.
What are some of the tips to do in an emergency?
All right. Well, Jerry is on a class trip to the zoo. On the way home, the bus runs into a car.
Oh.
The bus driver is hurt. Jerry is frightened. Jerry should
grow a pair. Oh, I'm sorry.
So these were your options.
Okay.
Get excited and scream. Woohoo! Bus driver got hurt. Get out through an exit. Try to help others get out. Or not do anything at all.
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with not do anything at all.
Not do anything at all? Okay. And then there's others. You're fishing with a friend and they fall in the lake. Someone falls off of the school playground. Or like the monkey bars.
Oh,
or,
okay.
The jungle gym. Someone catches fire out in the wilderness.
I did not expect you to say that.
Some of those options are stop Sherry from running away, run with Sherry to the nearest grown-up, get Sherry to roll on the ground, or continue to cook your hot dog.
Only if I'm cooking my hot dog off of the flames of Sherry.
Bring your leg that's on fire back here. It's really funny. And then there's a couple other like sort of game areas where you can do a little word search.
We were all about activities as kids, weren't we?
We had no phones. We had to do stuff. And then there's like a movie review of Pee Wee Herman's
Big Adventure.
Big Adventure. Yeah.
What does it say? What is the final? Does it like 2 thumbs up, star rating? What did they give Pee Wee Herman?
It was more of like a sales pitch to like go see the movie.
So it was written by the producers of the movie.
I think it's there was a character in it called DJ, and so DJ is telling you all about Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So pretty awesome. And then there's a little test on the back where you had to answer questions about what you learned.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely recall having stuff like this, but not that particular one. I do remember that. Yeah.
So
recall the facts, I see.
yeah.
Okay.
Recall the facts, your vocabulary, finding nouns within nouns. Yeah. So let's see if you can get one of these.
Okay.
Greg, you ready? Within the word year, there is another noun.
Yeah.
The correct answer is ear.
Oh, of course it is. Wait a minute. You're putting that away too quick. I think you filled it out.
I did. 9-year-old Tim filled that thing
How did
out.
you do?
I think I got everything right except for one. I had one wrong. I don't even know what it was that I did wrong, but there's a little mark that shows that I got
okay.
something
That's
wrong.
pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway, the Weekly Reader.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a communist like publication.
It does kind of seem like something that would have been on like Seinfeld when like, you know.
When, yeah.
So. Wasn't it Elaine's boyfriend that was like.
The communist, yeah. Oh, well, this was fun.
Yeah. It's fun remembering things.
It is.
All right, well, till next time.
Till next time. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Greg.
How's it going?
Even better than before.
Glad to be here. Wait. I was going to do a British artificial intelligence. Well, glad to be here.
Greg, you know. I can't do it.
Keep on rocking and rolling. We're talking, of course, about our season finale that we're in love with.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We never really mentioned what the future of...
no, we did not, actually. You're right. It's Latch-Key Coaches.
Yeah.
That was the winner.
I was really pulling for Latch-Key puzzling.
Yeah.
There was a lot of potential there.
That was the crowd favorite, I think. I think that was the crowd favorite. Yeah.
We just need to get more contestants to offer for us to come into their living rooms and commentate on them working on their puzzles.
Yeah, it's hard to get people willing to allow that.
Yeah, Ethel was very nice, very kind.
Yeah.
From down the street.
Ooh. Are those new Louboutins? We're not going to keep repeating jokes. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, Tim, we were doing a lot of, do you remember when kind of stuff lately? And I was thinking like school lunches. What was your scenario like? What was your setup? Did your mom pack you lunch every day? Did you pack your own lunch?
I feel like when I was really young, it was a lot of packed lunches.
Okay.
I've mentioned my Fall Guy lunchbox.
I'm gonna win the lottery and buy that off of you.
But yeah, a lot of packed lunches. I remember we had some pretty standard items we'd have in there. Tasty cakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we would generally have. There was the crimpets, which are kind of a.
I don't like the crimpets.
No.
The butterscotch crimpets.
Yeah, we like the butterscotch crimpets.
I mean, as a kid, it's sugar, but yeah.
And they've changed over the years. I feel like they were different when we were kids.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
And then there was I don't remember if it was the candy cake, I think it was called.
Candy cake.
Like a white cake with a stripe of peanut butter and then chocolate coated.
Yeah.
And then there was another version of that where it was a chocolate cake with vanilla icing and then chocolate. I don't remember what that one was called.
Yeah.
And we had these things that were called potato sticks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'd have those.
Now, did your mom, because they didn't really make individual bags, right? Did your mom put it in a baggie for you, right?
Everything was in a baggie. Yeah.
No individual serving sizes for us.
That's right. Although I do remember when we got a little bit older, we started getting Dunkaroos. Do you remember those?
I do. I didn't get Dunkaroos.
Yeah,
though.
that was big when we started getting Dunkaroos. We were like everyone was trying to trade us at lunch for some Dunkaroos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a trading, right? It was like a little black market at lunchtime, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I told you I used to trade my lunch for Garbage Pail Kids because my parents wouldn't let me get them.
Yeah.
So
Forego a little bit of food for some Garbage Pail Kids.
I just go home and eat more,
Another bowl of cereal when I get home. Yeah. Now, when I did buy, there was some really weird stuff that would be offered by our school.
Yeah.
So I do remember we had. There were days they would have prunes.
Really?
Yeah, they'd have the little plastic cup
with
2 prunes in it. And I remember this is like something out of a movie, but I do remember the lunch lady like looking at us and one of us goes, "What are those?" And she goes, "They're prunes." And we're like, "Ugh." And she goes, "They'll put hair on your chest." We're like 8. We're like, "You're scaring us, lady." But yeah, prunes. And then in those same little plastic cups, we would have chocolate pudding with grapes in the pudding.
Yes.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, you just spit the grapes out. Right?
Yeah, and they weren't even like fresh grapes. They were like the grapes that were in the canned fruit salad.
Yes.
It looked like they were like formaldehyde eyes or something. They were disgusting.
Yeah, they were not good.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't buy. I was such a picky eater. My poor mother. But only time I ever bought lunch was to get the chocolate milk and to get the pizza.
Yeah.
The square pizza.
Yeah. Fridays were pizza.
Yeah. That was good.
Now, we had the alternate lunch. Did you guys have that?
I bought it so rarely, I don't even know. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. So in the morning, they would take account of how many kids were going to be buying and who brought their lunch. And then if you were buying lunch, you had the option of getting the alternate. Okay. Which was always a hot dog.
Oh, like the standard kind of. Yeah. Okay.
But it wasn't. It was a boiled hot dog. And it always looked green. A little bit. And then they would separate us that it was all the kids that got the regular lunch that would go first, and then the alternate would always go last. Okay. And inevitably, somebody would see what was being served and be like, I don't want that. And then get the alternate. And then the kid at the end would be like, where's my hot dog?
There's no note-taking, right?
Yeah. It's just like, it was all the honor system. And, there wasn't a lot of honor at 8, I guess.
No. Not with some of the stuff they serve.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. And this is random, but when we, started talking about this, I remembered this, that for birthdays, generally everyone would bring in some kind of treat that would be the birthday celebration for that kid. And it'd be cupcakes and cookies and, whatever. But there was one kid who brought in Twix, but they were the 2-packs, but they had taken them out of the 2-pack and taken saran wrap and wrapped an individual Twix for everybody. And as a kid, we were so baffled by this. Like, one
Twix?
No, this doesn't seem right. And so there was some shenanigans involving that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Single Twix. Yeah. So
my mom had to get creative because I was so picky. Like, I'd eat a peanut butter sandwich, but I wouldn't eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I took soup, a lot of soup in the thermos. Yeah. Yeah. and a lot of hard-boiled eggs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they smell good.
Oh, yeah.
After sitting in a lunch bag for about 4 hours.
Where's Greg? Oh, he's over there. He's got those hard-boiled eggs in his bag.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So,
Now I remember, again, this was elementary school. I don't know how old we were, but there was the dare where you would take everything from your meal and drink maybe half of your milk and then mix a little bit of everything that you had in with the milk, shake it up, and then dare each other to drink it.
Oh, okay.
And I do remember my buddy Sean was the first one to pony up and actually drink it. And he went like all in, like he was in college. He just popped this thing open and guzzled down this slurry. Yeah. And then promptly threw up all over his tray. And like anybody within, it was like Shamu in the splash zone. Like he showered everyone. Again, like straight out of a movie. But yeah, the mixing everything was pretty.
A smart idea.
Pretty smart. Yeah, we're ahead of the curve there with new culinary delights. So
yeah. Did your mom ever write you a little love note?
I feel like there was early on there was some
my mom did. I get all like like my mom loves me. Yeah. You try to hide it from your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. But back then, I mean, it was
pretty. I knew a lot of kids got mom notes.
Yeah, it was pretty common.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I haven't said that since last season.
That's true. Yeah. First time for the new season.
But thank you, Mom.
Hey, Tim. I think it's about time for the report card.
Sounds good. So just 2 things in this episode. 1, the actor Chris Pine does not have an S at the end of his name, as I was unsure about that.
Nice.
And the other, in Friends, Joey Tribbiani does buy 1 volume of the encyclopedia, not an entire set, and that volume that he buys is for the letter V.
So what grade do you want to give us?
I think A+, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. Yeah. Change of pace here.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Can't get enough Latch-Key Dad content? Well, check out latchkeydads.com.
That's right, Greg. On our website, we've got a plethora of photos from each episode, as well as other interesting links to content that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, Tim, I really enjoy all the pictures that you put up there as they really bring the episode home.
Yeah, I guess I'm not afraid to show those embarrassing photos of my childhood. So, yeah, we encourage you to check out the website, latchkeydads.com, for all that content.
Excellent. And if you have a moment, check out our shop page where we've got really cool keychains for sale. If you don't know what to get your dad for Christmas, the holidays, Father's Day, birthday, check it out. It's a cool gift. Tim, did you know that listeners should like, review, and subscribe to the Latch-Key Dads podcast?
No. But now I know.
No,
Knowing is half the battle.